So just be smart with it, right? And in that sense, it is a really good supplement, but you just have to have a handshake deal where you don't overdo it. I don't know what that means. So remember, the bald a-hole here, it means I don't have any hair. That's all it means. Some people think I'm saying bored, and now I really need to get on my high horse and ensure people know what I'm talking about, because I would never tell anybody that I was bored. I'm saying this on every video now. We need to move away from it, and we need to start talking about supplements that you should and should not be taken when it comes to the gym. Now, let's make something very clear. You don't need any supplements. You can just go to the gym, you can train hard, you can eat well, and you are living the dream, essentially. However, because it has become such an important part of bodybuilding and fitness and weight training in the fitness palace of love, I just thought we'll go through some that I think are good, and we'll go through some that I think are bad. The key word in that sentence being I think, or key words, I should say. If you want to go try anything, you should try it. Just remember that none of them are essential, and really any company putting it out there just wants your money. Now, I'm not selling any supplements, so I'm not trying to pimp you anything specifically. And if you don't believe me, that's fine as well. You have to come to your own opinions. But yeah, here's 4 supplements that I think are great, and here's 4 supplements that I think can kiss my ass. And we start with the good ones, and in at number 4, it's everybody's favorite creatine. And this one is nice and simple too, and that's because it works. There have been a ton of studies that show if you do indeed supplement with creatine and you go to the gym, you're gonna lift a little bit more, you're gonna have a little bit more energy, and some people even say that it can help with your cortisol levels, which means you're gonna bring your stress hormone down, and the more relaxed you are, the better you can recover, and as we know, when we're recovering and resting, that is when we grow. So that is why creatine's so good. I'm not gonna get into the nitty-gritty when it comes to the science, because one, I think you can go and read that should you so wish, and there's also other people out there that are more educated than I am. I understand it, I'm just not very good at sort of passing that information on to you. But I am confident enough to say that with everything I've read and my own experiences, creatine is absolutely something that you should be supplementing with if you just want a little bit of a boost when it comes to going to the gym. And seriously, there's a bunch of stuff that you can go out there and read right now that say, we took this many humans and we took that many humans, and these humans weren't taking creatine and these humans were taking creatine, and the human beings that were able to build muscle faster than the ones that weren't. So there you go. And there's many ways you can do this. I think the best way to do it is take creatine monohydrate and take 5 grams a day, right? And if you think that's not enough, you can go up a little bit. And if you think that's too much, remember that's important too, you can come down a little bit. You can cycle it as well. Some people do 8 weeks on and 2 weeks off or something like that. Cool, if you want to do it. And some people like to load their creatine as well. Now, I don't see the point in loading. I think if you are going to take it constantly, why would you need to load up to get it in your bloodstream quicker? It's going to get there at some point. It's not like some kind of magic. I suppose if you start cycling, then maybe you want to load it, but I don't think you just don't need to do it. To me, that's just a way of you going through your creatine quicker and therefore spending on money on creatine. There's also other variations of creatine, but I would just stick with creatine monohydrate just because creatine monohydrate is the version of creatine that has been researched and tested the most. So you know that it's safe, you know that it's good, it is going to give you assistance in the gym, meaning you are going to build muscle faster, but as always, it's not a magical drug. You don't take creatine and then 2 weeks later go, oh my gosh, I'm twice as big. That's just being stupid. And then at number 4 on the bad side is any kind of mass gainer. They're just full of crap half the time. Just turn it around and have a look at the stuff they're putting in there. Some just fill them with sugar, because obviously sugar is a great way to get the calorie count up. So you're like, oh my gosh, I need to add an extra 1,500 calories into my diet, but I don't want to eat it because I'm so full. This wonderful shake is going to give me 1,500 calories, but you're just chugging back sugar. You may as well eat a cheesecake and that will taste nicer. Make your own weight gainers. I was doing this so long ago. If I had any kind of entrepreneurial brain skills, maybe I would have tried to market it, but I didn't, so there's no point moaning about it. But I would just get a bunch of oats and I would grind them up in a blender. Then I'd get some whey protein, which we'll talk about in a little bit, and I just mix them together. If you really do need sort of extra calories, you could do it with milk, but it's fine with water. It's so much better for you than any kind of weight gain or mass gain or whatever that also cost a fortune. My word, mass gain is like 50 quid, which is what, like $70? It's probably $50 in America. That's always the way it works. Just stay away from them. Unless you can't put any kind of weight on. Like you can eat McDonald's, and you put no weight on. But I just had another video that probably means you have some kind of medical issue. Do not waste your cash. And then number 3 on the good scale, this one may surprise you a little bit, is pre-workout. The reason I want to talk about pre-workout is mostly because it is one of the most popular supplements ever, but I kind of think people have forgotten what it's there for. Now, do I think you should take a pre-workout if you can handle it? Some people can't. I am one of those people. Absolutely. Because what does a pre-workout do? It gives you energy and it gives you focus and it basically stimulates you before you go to the fitness palace of love, which means you're going to train harder. And if you're going to go train harder when you're at the gym, it means your workout's going to be better. You're going to achieve muscle protein synthesis more than you would have done otherwise, and therefore, yes, you're going to build muscle faster. It's also designed to help blood flow, performance, and basically just give you a kick up the ass. But again, these things can be addictive, mostly because of the caffeinated quality or whatever they use in substitute of that. So if you do overstim yourself, which is something you can absolutely do, what's going to happen is when you decide to train without a workout or you just don't have any pre-workout to hand, your sessions are going to absolutely suck because you're going to be all sluggish, like, oh man, I can't believe it, I needed a pre-workout. So then you're going to overstim yourself and it's just a downward spiral. So the best way, in my opinion, again, just me, to treat pre-workout is to take it on the days where you feel like you need it on a pre-workout. So let's say you wake up on a Monday and had a terrible night's sleep. Badass, time to take that pre-workout. But on Tuesday, you're feeling pretty good. You don't feel like you need to be stimulated. Don't take a pre-workout. It's leg day. Oh, leg day is terrifying. Take a pre-workout. That way, you're going to be balanced. You're not going to overdo it, and it's continually going to get you where you want to be, which is jacked. But honestly, I've been there. I've been there when, before I realized what was going on, that I just went way too crazy with it, meaning my workouts without it absolutely sucked. They're basically pointless. But also because I was just plying my body with stimulants, when I got home, I felt depressed because you've got to do something with all this energy and you crash. That's what you basically crash your hormonal, endocrine, whatever system would be endocrine system. You crash your entire system and you feel like crap. So you don't want to feel awesome in the gym and then rubbish after the gym. It's bad enough anyway because you're all pumped up in the fitness palace. I'm like, oh man, I look great. Then you get home, you're like, what happened? My muscles ran away. So just be smart with it, right? And in that sense, it is a really good supplement, but you just have to have a handshake deal where you don't overdo it. I don't know what that means. And number 3 on the bad side is testosterone boosters. I don't want to spend too long on this because it's not fair on my regular viewers because they'll be like, oh, Simon, you talk about test boosters all the time. But it's because I just think they're an absolute joke. And the way to sum it up in headline form is if test boosters that you could buy over the counter worked and did increase your testosterone, why are there millions of people in the world injecting testosterone into their ass? They wouldn't do that. They would just take a test booster. And look, it may help you if you are deficient in some vitamin levels, but that is going to be a very small percentage of the population because that's all real test boosters are. They just got vitamins in it. So if you are low on that vitamin and you take it, and because you're getting yourself back up to base levels, your testosterone also increases, sure, but once more, there's probably a reason why your test is low, so you should go talk to a doctor, not spend $90 on something called, I don't know, Power Drive. It was called something stupid. Number 2, back with the goods, is vitamin D. Now, I will mention at this point, I wanted to try and find a few that aren't the most boring ones like Creatine, blah, 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 because we've heard that all the time. And the reason vitamin D is good for you kind of ties into what we were just saying, because most people don't have enough sun in their life, especially if you live over here in the United Kingdom. The sun is never out. It's just rain, rain, rain all the time. So it stands to reason that as we get our vitamin D levels from the sun, if you don't have a lot of sun, you're probably going to need to boost your vitamin D levels. And if you are deficient, again, tying back into what you just said, in vitamin D, your testosterone levels may just be a little bit lower because vitamin D is good for balancing out your testosterone. So it is worth adding it in. Just remember, it's not a miracle drug again, and there's plenty of studies out there that say, hey, most people should throw that vitamin D back down their throat, especially in winter time because, well, we just went through it. And that's a way you can supplement with it as well. Through the winter months or the fall, for my American friends, you can add in vitamin D. But when you're outside all the time, you think, oh man, sun is on my face, I'm having a great time. You can just drop it and save yourself some cash. Now, this does tie into the more, you're just going to get your testosterone levels back to where they were, as opposed to going, oh my gosh, I'm full of testosterone right now. But getting them back to where you were, so you're normal, and normal is the best thing ever, will of course help you boost muscle faster for all the things that we just said. Number 2 on the bad list is BCAAs, and I don't mind BCAAs. I think if you're absolutely loaded and you just want to have them as a nice drink, so you don't have a milkshake instead, well, that's a really good way to go about it. And you see pro bodybuilders doing this all day too. They mix it with ice and they turn it into pleasant shakes. But you don't need it, essentially because you are getting all of your BCAAs mostly from food, because most people that are training are eating a lot of food and they're eating healthy food, and that's when BCAAs live. So I suppose with that logic too, when you start cutting and reducing your food, sure, you can probably add in BCAAs, but they're just so damn expensive, and so many people think they are the be-all and end-all when it comes to lifting weights, and they're not. I would also recommend them for when you're doing fasted cardio. Now people go, oh, sorry, that's just my personal recommendation. Okay, so I do 95% fasted cardio, which doesn't even make any sense, but you can try it and see if it works for you. They are good for, staying away from muscle breakdown, but even then, that's not true. They're not living up to the importance that they are sold to you as. That's the point I'm trying to get at, so you can just ignore them forevermore. And number one on the good list is whey protein, or any kind of powdered protein. I know it's dull to hear, but the reason I like to talk about it so much is because it's just a good way to get extra protein in, especially when you start working out and you're struggling to take in as much food as some people need. Like if I said to you, you have to eat 2 chicken breasts, or you can just drink this nice chocolatey shake, at some points during your day, you may be like, man, I just want to take the nice chocolatey shake because it's easy. And there's nothing wrong with that. Even though it's something that we're choosing to doing in our own lives, it's okay to, I wouldn't even call it cutting corners. It's okay to take the simple path as opposed to go to the gym and go out of the pan, spray, put the camera, blah, blah, blah. Right? You can just do it with whey protein soon. It's also a good thing when you're out and about and you need to get your protein in. Whey protein is great. Just remember, it is a supplement, meaning you don't just rely on whey protein all the time. You supplemented it. There's loads as well. The only reason people love whey protein so much is that it gets absorbed in your system quicker. So people are like, oh my gosh, I need to get that protein into my muscles as soon as possible. You don't really need to worry about that. But there's rice protein and pea protein and soy protein and egg protein and kind of vegan protein. There's a bunch of protein. Just pick the one that you want and use it to boost up your protein levels. That's why it's so good, because you can't build any kind of muscle without protein. So if you're not hitting the numbers that you need to, we went out and invented something that will help you. Number one on the bad list is fat burners. Now, there are good fat burners out there. There really are, but you need to sit down and actually do some research. But most of the ones that you are being sold are just stimulant products that make you sweat a bit, and then you think, oh my gosh, I'm losing weight because I'm sweating, even though sweating doesn't mean anything. Sweating is just your body trying to get back to a normal core temperature. That is it. You can have a great workout and sweat loads. You can have a great workout and not sweat at all. And I think, honestly, there are so many fat burners out there that are literally designed just to make water come out of your head and trick you into think they're doing anything, and they are absolutely not. And the other reason I like fat burners is because, again, the marketing kind of makes out you can eat whatever you want, and this will allow you to burn fat. It's not true. This goes back to the whole talking about supplements thing. They're there to help you when you're trying to shed a few extra pounds, but they're not the be-all and end-all. In fact, fat burners mostly kind of suck. Because basically, to try and sum it up, there is no natural substance that is going to be better for you than ensuring you are in a calorie deficit. And that is why I worry about fat burners, because I think people rely on them too much. Now, if you are in a calorie deficit and you kind of think you've hit a plateau, go to people you can trust. Buy their supplements, right? But make sure you do your research first. So I think somebody right now who is selling awesome supplements is Derek. More Plates, More Dates with his Gorilla Mind stuff. I've never used his fat burner, but I would trust it. I mean, I've never looked at it, right? I have to look at the supplement. I have to look at the ingredients and stuff, but I would trust it given what I know about his other products and things like that. So make sure you do the same. By and large, fat burners kind of just exist because everybody is obsessed with trying to lose fat and lose weight and get abs. So somebody went, well, we can make them feel like it is happening and we'll make a bunch of cash. And you can't get mad at it because not only were they right when they started doing it, but today it is more successful than ever. And do not forget, there's a bunch of other ones in there as well. I haven't even mentioned omega-3. Everybody should be on omega-3, blah, blah, blah. But these are the ones that most people talk about. So hopefully now we put them into a nice little ball and you can know whether you should take them or whether you shouldn't take them, and you can make your own decisions as well. It's not against the law. Now, please do like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Get the bell ding dings. You know, other videos are going live. There is another video on the screen right now. Please do give it a click. Patreon.com/SimonMiller316. Instagram, Twitter @SimonMiller316 as well. SimonMiller.BigCartel.com for merchandise. I've been Greg 13, Power 13, Cookbook, Gibberish Jabber. What's coming out my mouth? Get in the description below. Buy yourself Greg Doucette's new cookbook. Use the code Simon15 for 15% off. Otherwise, take all your money and go buy all the supplements in the world because it's the only way to get big. I'm joking. I'll see you soon.